Thanks to Patreon user RavenOsFan89, whose YouTube channel I will leave a link to down below, a great guy called Ryan. He requested for me to check out the 2009 movie Extract as a first time watch. But what did I think of this movie? Well, let's dive into it. Hey everyone, what is going on? Welcome to the channel and thank you so much for taking your own time out to check out this video. I really do appreciate it. As we talk about Extract, a movie I hadn't even heard of until Ryan mentioned that he wanted me to check this out and give my thoughts on it. So first time watch, I am going to keep this relatively spoiler free for if you haven't seen this and you actually do yourself fancy checking this one out. Now it's directed and written by Mike Judge, who you may know for who created Beavis and Butthead and King of the Hill. So very well known animation, very well known TV shows that have had their own successes. So it's pretty cool to have a director that also did this movie. And we've got an all-star stellar cast, especially for 2009, and that is Jason Bateman, Kristen Wiig, Mila Kunis, Ben Affleck, J.K. Simmons, and many, many more. And if you're wondering, well, what is the synopsis of Extract all around? Well, it focuses on a character called Joel, played by Jason Bateman, who owns this factory called Reynolds Extract, and his life starts to go on a downhill spiral when one of his workers decide to sue him, but then he also finds himself falling for the brand new girl, Cindy, despite having a wife. So it's a little bit more to it than that. Again, I'm being quite vague on what I can tell you if you've never heard of this or you haven't seen it for that matter. So after watching this movie, which clocks in at less than 90 minutes or around about that time with credits, what did I think overall? Well, there's definitely some positives. There's elements that I did enjoy and the movie did keep my interest overall, but unfortunately, I think tonally it gets itself mixed up quite often, which ultimately ends with this movie not being that great. Let's start with the cast. I think everyone overall does a good job. I can't say anyone is a clear standout. There wasn't an actor in particular here where I got the most chuckles from, or I thought they were amazing, or like a career-defining role. You're not going to get that with the movie Extract, but it is great to see an ensemble all together, and in this movie that maybe is under the radar for some, maybe not for others. I obviously can't tell you. You can decide that in the comment section down below if you've heard of this movie, if you've seen it, or if you haven't. The cinematography is competently shot. It's a nice enough movie to look at. There's some great wide shots. There's some great on-set locations as well, whether it's the factory, whether it's Joel's home. It looks good. The music is also not too bad that accompanies it. And I also think there is some messages underlying that people could kind of take away, and it's a movie where maybe if you've been in this setting in real life and you've maybe had a job currently or in the past in, say, a factory setting, maybe you could relate to one or two aspects here that the movie delves into. But ultimately, where I found my frustrations came in with Extract is the tonal shifts and how they want to kind of portray them. So let me give you an example. So Joel is married to a character called Susie, who's played by Kristen Wiig. Now there is a side plot that goes on there that does go into the overarching story, which does involve Cindy, who is Mila Kunis' character. I can't tell you what that is, but I feel as if a lot of the time that was played off for comedy, because I think this is ultimately labeled as a comedy, right? This is what it kind of felt like. I would say maybe more comedy, drama, feel good, coming of age, maybe genre, I don't know. But it feels as if the comedy was a forefront, but it just didn't land. I honestly found myself not chuckling once. I actually kind of wish that this movie took some of its themes a little bit more seriously, because I feel as if when it was trying to have a bit more of those serious moments, it was actually going to work out for the better, but then they just ruin it with some schlock comedy that just does not hold up for me personally, and ultimately I just don't think worked well, because you've got such a talented cast and they treat this marriage like a joke. And I'm just like, why have we chosen to do that route with this particular instance with two grown adults? I just didn't get it. But I also think that the all-star stellar cast, some of it and some of them weren't really utilised. I feel as if maybe anyone could have played that role. They could have saved a little bit more in the budget and ultimately made a movie that could have maybe withstood the test of time a little bit better and maybe more on people's radars than how it is currently now. Again, I don't know if everyone has seen this movie or not in the past, but I'm just kind of going off maybe my basis where I hadn't even heard of it. So there's elements where I really enjoyed it. There's a couple of side plots that I liked, including like David Croner's character. It's definitely there for comic relief, like he usually always is. I feel as if his character was kind of relatable in terms of being like an annoying neighbour. I'm sure we all have them to some degree. And I just wish this movie tonally and in its messaging balanced itself out a little bit better, because there's also some moments in the dialogue and some little one or two things in the factory that certainly hasn't aged well. I can accept it because of course it's a movie from the time, but watch it in 2024, some people definitely would be like, yeah, that doesn't fly. So my overall score for Extract would be a 2.5 out of 5 stars. But thank you guys for watching this review. If you haven't already, feel free to check out my Patreon, like Ryan at Raven Oars Fan, and you can request a movie yourself for me to watch. What will that be? What do you guys decide? That is the link down below in the description box. Big thanks to all these awesome legends who are part of Patreon. In the meantime, if you haven't seen these videos of mine, click over here, have a little bit of a deep dive of 2 recent or past Patreon picks. Till next time I see you guys, I'll be seeing you later.